Okay, so just recording a behind the scenes video 2023 before packing up, and I'll just cover off the new things that we've added. So the main things are we've got a seed mega tree and then some porch columns there, and then I also replaced the star with a 1,000 node star from Ink Creations, so that would match the star on the mega tree a little bit better. A lot of things are the same, but some things have changed structurally. Previously I had a DC to DC converter mounted inside with a smart receiver, but now I've switched to using these supposedly waterproof ones. They can do, well, these 12 volt ones here do 30 amps, and the 5 volt ones we've got in the seeds literally do 50 amps, but I'm using about 10 of them this year and none have failed, so far so good. Also moving to connectorized, so XT60 for the 24 volts in, just to make it easier to pack up and put away. Because last year it was a bit of a pain undoing all the screw terminals. So if we go over to the porch columns, there's basically about 18 strands by 50 on each face. It's basically a total of about 1,500 nodes per porch column, and because of that, each needs its own smart receiver, and then there's one of those DC-DC power supplies again. To make things easy, basically I've got a little custom PCB at the top which we've covered with some waterproofing, and yeah, we just kind of go down one, and we just use 1 pixel for spacing. Pick up the other side. Frames are made of aluminium. They got from Action Aluminium, and they have this little system where you can buy different types of corners and things, just to stick it all together, and they were kind enough to cut it all exactly the size, so making those frames was actually quite easy. And then just at the bottom I just 3D printed some brackets with these little hooks in here just to try and keep the seeds a little bit tensioned and all the right height. Generally it's worked quite well. I think for next season I'm going to 3D print a bracket to go just below here and provide a bit of strain relief on the seeds. Maybe about 3 or 4 times throughout the show I had sections of like a column stop working where I just had to go like either replug or rejiggle the connector at the top there, and I'm not sure if that's because of the crimp or the actual connection inside the RJ connection there. Yeah, we'll see when I pull it down and have a closer investigation. But yeah, so 3 of those porch columns, they've all been a pretty good addition. There's another one there, and the third one. But sorry, the other thing that's changed is the Tuntu sign, which was previously running off a Pi plus a hat, is now with a Pi plus a color light, and I found that's given much better performance as well. And then over to the tree. So the tree was actually meant to be about an extra 30 centimeters high, which it will be for next year, and as a result there's a little bit of a skirt around the bottom of the tree, but that should be ready to go for next year. This has followed a similar design to the porch columns, where there's basically a PCB up the top which has a whole bunch of RJ9 connectors on it, and then in this case, rather than having a strand go down across and up, here we've got basically the alternating node style. So yeah, as you can see on the way down, it's offset by about half a pixel spacing. This ends up being 2.5 centimeters based off the originals being 5 centimeters. And then the other thing I ran into was the base wasn't as wide as I'd liked, so I ended up 3D printing these through the glass, these little brackets here, just to extend the base out by an extra sort of 20 centimeters or so on each side. And yeah, that kind of gave me the dimensions I was after, but it also had the added advantage of it's just got these little screws and a nut, a retained nut on the other side here, and that allows me to clamp it onto the base ring, but then also I can basically apply tension here to get the tension I want on the seeds, and then tighten up the screw to take care of tensioning of the strands on the tree. And then just on this side here, there's you'll see this little bracket here, these little clips which basically provide the half spacing offset for the alternate nodes going back up the tree to keep everything in alignment. So yeah, those DC-DCs, you can see there's 2 more of them up there powering the seeds, allegedly doing up to 50 amps each. And then yeah, just these XT60 connectors for the 24 volts coming in. 2 smart receivers, so we've got 2 smart receivers, so we've got 42 strands here. 7 of those smart receiver ports we're using for the strands, and then the last one's going to the star at the top, which is using just the bullet nodes, and there's another DC to DC up there for that. Yeah, so about 10 of those DC to DCs, and none of them have failed, so I guess I'll continue using those next year. Really, the only other thing to have changed is any new power supplies I've added have been from the RSP series in Meanwhile instead of the LRS. So effectively, I just added 2 RSP 500s this year. One covers a tree, and the other one really covers those porch columns. And there was an intention for a garage matrix, but yeah, ran out of time for that, and we'll see what happens 2024. Other than that, everything went fairly smoothly, and yeah, not too many changes.